Come on up, Steve Hale, our head coach. It's on the side. Oh, it's on the side.
It's on the podium.
You don't need that.
Well, thank you guys for having me. It's a blessing to be here. And I was talking to Scott this morning, and I really enjoy this. It's my third year doing this, and it really reassures something for me. One, it's football season if I'm speaking, and two, I still have a job. Two very good things. I want you to bear with me. They always ask me to speak after I've coached 3 days on the grass, and so y'all have seen how passionate I am out there, and I'm very motivated, and I highly encourage those kids. So if I have to take a deep breath and get a drink of water to keep going, I will. I can't thank Hutto ISD for all they've done for me since I've been here. 2 wonderful years, and when I came here, I had a vision, and we've been able to do that with unbelievable support from Dr. Killian, Mr. Ramos, from our board president back there, Mr. Gall, and many of you in this room. It's been really, really great. And I can't thank them enough. It's great. And then the biggest part of this is over here, what we call Team Hale. My wife, Lana, my son, Ty, and my daughter, Allie, who are very supportive of Daddy and allows him to live the dream. And I can't thank them enough for all they do. They're very supportive of me. They come to everything. Ty's a ball boy, and every once in a while he wants to call a play. Allie's a cheerleader and a trainer. As soon as we leave here, we're going to go to the high school. We're going to change clothes real quick, and all of us are going to be very involved in what we do. You know, it's funny, last night we were sitting there and we were talking, and Allie was really excited that we do a lot of things together. And she said, we're going to practice tomorrow. I said, oh, we're going to Holiday Inn first. And I said, Daddy's going to talk. And she says, good. Free breakfast, and I get to go swimming. So I said, well, we'll get the free breakfast, but we'll have to swim later. But no, I can't thank you guys enough for coming, and I'm excited about this year. The one thing we talk about all the time is what we believe in. It's about work ethic. The one thing that we talk about, is never let anybody question your work ethic. In high school football and high school athletics, you don't have the opportunity to recruit. It's not like college, and it's not like the NFL. But the one thing I can promise is that kids that are in our program, that are going to work very, very hard. The 2 years we've been here, when I came in, even in year 1, I said, we're going to set high standards. We're going to outwork people, and our standards are going to be very high. A lot of people believe in when they come into a new program that you have about a 3 to 5 period, grace period, to take your program to the level at which it needs to be. We've been very successful because our kids have bought in, and we've been able to have back-to-back co-district championships and been able to make the playoffs of 2 years in a row. Our first year we made the playoffs the first time as a 4A school. During that time, we've had 5 all-state football players. We've had 4 academic all-state football players. We've had 49 all-district football players and 40 academic all-district football players. And that is so great because the one thing we talk about all the time, it's character first, academics, and then football. And I feel real great about the kids that are in the program. That they're not only successful on the field, but also in the classroom and in the community. And so when they move on to the next level, where about 98% of them will not play college football, that they're able to go to college and be productive citizens. All right, thanks. The one thing we talk about being a great program is expectations. All of you guys know this morning coming in this door, you know what to expect from me. I'm going to give you all I got. I have a lot of love and passion, and I'm going to work hard, and kids are going to work hard. And that's the greatest thing about our program, is our kids know exactly what we're going to do year-round. And then so when we talk about our program and today's kid is a lot different than when we grew up. It just is. We live today in a world of entitlement, where a lot of kids and a lot of people believe that they're entitled to certain things. And so the first thing that we talk about in our program is basically we use two phrases. One, what's required. What does a kid have to do to be able to be in a program? And then the second one, which is most important, what's highly recommended. Okay? Required versus highly recommended. Our kids do a lot of things that are highly recommended. We had 250 kids come out, boys, come out for summer conditioning this summer to get ready to be successful in football and other sports. That is not required, that's just highly recommended. Last year in our whole program, we had 404 kids play football in Hutto from the 7th grade up. And so when I came in here, I told the kids, we're going to take this thing to another level, but for us to do that, it's basically got to be more than PE. PE kids come in during the day, they leave after school, they don't do anything before, they don't do anything after school, they don't do much in the summer. And so we've established a program in which these kids buy into doing things, and I can't thank them enough for just embracing all the things, and our kids are totally prepared for the upcoming season because of that. And then as we go, we're going to make corrections. In every program, in every business, you make mistakes along the way. And so the one thing we talk about is make corrections as we go. And then the bottom line, it's always talks about work. We're going to work. We're going to outwork people. We're going to out-practice people. And our kids do a great job. And this is basically the heart and soul of the Hutto football program. Ty, you do a great job. There's three things that we focus on each thing. The first thing that I promise you in this community, when these kids come through our program, the number one thing we're going to focus on is character. It's character first. We're going to make sure they look you in the eye, they're going to shake your hand, they're going to smile at you, they're going to say yes sir, they're going to say no ma'am, they're going to get out in the community, they're going to sell you cards, so if you haven't bought a card, Ty will be selling cards. So they're going to do it the right way. I tell them, you're the greatest thing in Hutto. You're able to get out there and you're seen all the time. Just like myself and these kids, we're Hutto football all the time. Whether we're in school, whether we're at Subway. And so the one thing we talk about is you represent Hutto ISD all the time, and let's do it the right way. Then we're going to push academics. You saw before how many kids that we've had that were academic all-district and academic all-state, and that's the number one thing we're going to do. And basically our standard is in athletics, the state of Texas says a kid has a 70 or better to play. We make the kids maintain a 75 or they come to Sunrise Study Hall. We are pushing for every kid in our program to make A's and B's. That's what we're shooting for. If you've come to a football game on Friday nights, you'll see a lot of kids with the stickers on the back of their helmet. The stickers on the back of the helmets are given for one thing only, grades. If a kid makes an A, he gets 2 stickers. If a kid makes a B, he gets 1 sticker. So I know there's a lot of you guys that are not only insulting my play calling, but you're looking down there going, that kid's got 30 stickers, why isn't he playing right now? We have that happen a lot too. But that's the one thing, you know, we love football and we love sports, but academics is the most important thing. And the thing I do love about our program is this football program and the other sports we have in Hutto, it encourages a lot of kids to stay in school. And once we stay in school, once we keep them in school, then what we do is we support them. Our coaches do a great job, our teachers do a great job of making sure we're on top of them and we monitor their grades weekly, and so that we're not falling behind. And if they're falling behind, then I highly encourage them after practice to get their grades up. Okay? And then of course we get to play football. Go ahead and hit all these. The thing we talk about team, the thing I promise you about any of our teams, whether it's 7th grade, I'm making your job hard.
Oh, yeah.
I told you I'm not a podium guy. I know what you're getting here. Okay. The thing that we promise everybody about our teams is no matter what team we have in Hutto, our kids are going to be the most physical, disciplined, and conditioned. Bottom line, once again, there's a lot of talent on every football team. But talent does not win you championships. You can ask Ed, the Dallas Cowboys, okay? A lot of talent. I had to throw that in there. A lot of talent. But you got to put it together. And the one thing that we do every day is from the time the bell rings and we come running out of the school and we've got about 6 minutes to get dressed and get in a spot, it's about tempo, it's about discipline, it's about knowing your assignment, it's about being physical, and then the way that we run our practices and the tempo that we do things, then that allows us to be very conditioned. And one of the things we hang our hat on is at the end of the third quarter, we all stand together and we put our fours up. And basically what that four is saying is that we put them up and then we do lean on me forward. And so basically what it says in the fourth quarter is that if we're behind, we're going to come back. We're going to be disciplined enough, we're going to be conditioned enough, we're going to get that done. And the 2 years I've been here, we've had some great victories from behind. The first year I was here, we were 2 touchdowns behind against Hendrickson. We'd never beaten them in the history of the school in any sport on the boys' side. And the kids believed in that. They stayed with the program. And then we were able to come back and beat them on 4th and 12, throw an 88-yard touchdown pass to win that football game. This year, in the second half against Maynard, we were down by 3 touchdowns. And our kids kept believing that we were going to wear them out. And they stayed with it, and we were able to come back and beat them. And so that does not only teach them that we're going to be able to come back when we're at a disadvantage in football, but that we're going to come back when we're at a disadvantage in life. That's what it's all about. Today's kid is taught that when things are tough, quit. Or things are tough, hit the reset button on PlayStation and start over. Life is not like that. And so we work them very hard and we practice being uncomfortable daily so that when we are uncomfortable, we're able to be a pup. And pup stands for being poised under pressure. And we've had a lot of success of being able to make plays and get things done when the game's on the line. These are the things that every kid in our program, 7th grade up, they understand about this. This is purely character. The one thing I tell them I want you to be passionate about what you do. I'm very passionate about coaching football. I love kids. I can't believe I get up every day and I'm able to be paid to do something I do. No ideas that, okay? But I love this so much, okay? I love this so much. Now, along with that, do we have days that we don't enjoy doing our job? Sure. But the one thing I tell kids, I want you to be passionate about it. I want your body language, I want your attitude to show that you love being together as a team. The one thing that these kids, the reality of it, is that you can't play high school football all your life. And I've had some great groups of kids in the 2 years I've been here. And the greatest thing is to be able to sit there when it's over with and talk about the great things that they did in football. I was sharing with Kara this morning. Shane came by and saw me this summer, and it was a highlight of my summer. For him to stop by. He's going to college. He's going to be very successful. He was very successful as a high school athlete. But for him to stop by and say, Coach, thank you. And I said, no, Shane, thank you. And for him to be able to look himself in the mirror and have no regrets about what he did and be able to take those memories with him because he loved the game of football. And bottom line, that's what it's about. It's about the memories and relationships that this program allows us to have. Number 2, eyes. Eyes is the thing that we say instead of saying, hey, hey, hey. When I say eyes, all kids quit talking immediately. It's pretty nifty. Y'all try that at home. Okay? When I say eyes, they stop. They look you in the eyes, which is not taught these days, because today's kids communicate like this. Okay? So we'll make them look us in the eye, and then shake their hand if it's that moment of being able to be close enough to shake their hand. But we're going to teach them how to communicate. We're going to teach them how to respect one another. And so eyes is a big deal where we go teaching kids a lot of social skills that they're not taught at home. And we want to feel like our program is the best thing that they have and able to help you at home and some of those kids that don't have that support to raise these kids to be very productive. Effort and attitude. 2 things I'm never going to question a kid about: his attitude and how hard he works. Number 3, accountability. We have a definition of athletic accountability. It is this: can my team count on me all the time? And that's the first thing that we discuss with kids. If kids are disappointed in certain things, and not playing or different things, first thing I say, are you accountable? If you're not passing, you're not accountable. If you're in trouble in school, trouble with the law, you're not accountable. If you decide not to show up every once in a while, you're not accountable. And this is real. Not being accountable to the program will get you doing a lot of up downs. Not being accountable in 5 years will get you fired. So we're trying to teach them once again tools of real life lessons. Commitment, equal commitment is what we're looking for. We talk about commitment. The one thing we want in our program is equal commitment. When I sit down in that locker at the end of the day, I want to know the guy on the right and the guy on the left has worked as hard as I have. And I am so proud of these kids, the commitment that they have made year round. And that's the one thing that we talk about is equal commitment. And then teammate. The one goal we have individually about being on that team is to be the best teammate I can be. If I have that attitude that I can be the best teammate I can be, then it's not about me. If coach asks you to go to another position and it betters the team, then I'm going to do that. And that's the one thing I'm excited about these kids. You know, from our middle schools, having 2 of them, and us coming together, there's some kids that have to be moved around. From going JV to varsity, there's some kids that have to be moved around. But what we want to do is have the best attitude that coach is going to put me in the best position for the team. And so a lot of those kids, I have 48 in that locker room, and about 45 of them were told by their daddies that they're the best quarterback in Hutto. Okay? And we have to take a grasp and look and see what is the best interest for this football team. And those kids have done such a great job with that. And then the most important thing, winning is not the most important thing, but the pursuit of winning is. We all would love to win every game. Realistically, it's not going to happen. But the one thing that I can feel good about, and these kids can feel good about, is the fact that we're going to prepare these kids to be the best that we can do on Friday night, or do the best we can on Friday night. And that's the one thing I feel great about. I'm like a little kid. I love walking out of that field house. I got goosebumps when I walk out of that tunnel. For them to look up in the stands and see you there and support them. But I feel real good about the product that we put on the field. From the way that they look, and the way they represent you, and the way that they play, and the way they're prepared. And so that's the one thing I put up there. I have had guys in this profession, good friends of mine, that have called me and say, I did a poor job of preparing our kids this week. The program allows this not to happen. Our program and the tempo and the way that we do things, our kids work very hard, and so we are prepared on Friday night. But the thing that we've got to do as we get into year 3 of the program is understand that when the game's on the line, we've got to win the big games. And so you can prepare your kids all they want, but they still got to get it done when that pressure situation happens. Where you going? Okay, lean on me full. All right? And then I touch the lean on me full. Thanks, Ty, for holding me accountable. It ain't even worse than the 12-year-old. And then the one thing we talked about, that lean on me full. Like I said, you'll see it in the football game, but this is life. That's the one thing. We deal with different things. You know, kids have a lot of drama in their life, and we teach them that when things are tough, we're going to continue to fight until we have an advantage and get everything back in our corner. This is our theme every year. We kind of have a theme. In 2010, it was Let It Begin in 2010. Last year it was +1. It was trying to take the program to another level. This year it's kind of Earn the Right. And that's what we talk about. As we go through this and our society changes, the one thing we tell those kids, you need to earn the right to put that helmet on. You need to earn the right. And so all the guidelines in which we have set, those kids have to earn the right to be in that dressing room on Friday night, or to be in the other dressing room for Thursday night, and all those other things. And so if they don't uphold the high standards of this school district and football team, then they haven't earned that right. And so that's the one thing that we feel real good about, is earn the right to be a Hutto Hippo. Okay. Offensively this year, we have a lot of changes. We're real excited about what's going on. I mentioned just a while ago, year 3 is a big year. The first 2 years that I was here, we had a lot of kids, and I walked into a great situation. We had a lot of kids, a lot of seniors and a lot of juniors, and we were able to have a lot of success early on. And so those kids for 2 years, and the first year here we walked in and we won the district championship, and we put a lot of kids and changed our offense and said this is the way we're going to be. Year 2 we were able to have about 5 or 6 kids on both sides of the ball coming back. Year 3 we have lost a lot of great seniors. And so last year I talked about us starting out with I think 6 or 7 sophomores. Before the year was over with, we played 10 sophomores. I think I haven't shared with you, one of my mentors, what he said about playing sophomores. He said for every sophomore you play, that's how many losses you will have. So we kind of changed the belief in that. And along the way last year we had a lot of younger kids step up and still allowed us to be successful with some great senior leadership. But we lost a lot of kids on both sides of the ball. So this year we have basically a whole brand new offense with the exception of J.T. Arena. J.T. Arena is our center. He's a 3-year starter, and he's been all-district 2 years in a row. Very good player. A.J. Lopez was a kid last year that when I put this up there, he wasn't on the board. And then he worked his tail off, and he became a first-team all-district receiver and return guy. And then we had Darryl as a sophomore, played a little bit, did a good job, had 4 touchdown receptions. We expect big things out of him. And then basically our offensive line is revamped. We feel like we're very athletic. We do a lot of things with our linemen. We don't need to be 6'4", 280 pounds, thank goodness. We just have to be able to run. And these kids are able to run. And then we have a new quarterback, Chase Adams. And I feel real good about him. Chase is replacing the kid, Ryan Higgins, that did great things in Hutto, that left his name and broke a lot of records. And his team broke a lot of records and got a D1 scholarship. And so the one thing I told him is, you don't need to be Ryan, you need to be Chase. And you need to be able to come in and lead this offense. And he's done a great job so far. And then tailback-wise, we're moving a lot of things. We got Darian Roberts, who's going to be a senior. Feel real good about him. He's about 208 pounds. He runs downhill. We're going to be a more inside the tackle running team this year. We have lost some speed. And so we're going to be athletic up front, and most of our plays are going to be downhill. So when you hear all the critics on Friday nights about why he running outside, I said, you should have showed up to the breakfast. He'd have told you. And then up front you see everything else. I feel real good about that. But that's the one thing. We're able with our offense to get a lot of different formations. We have thrown for 400 yards on one night, and we have run for 400 yards the next night. That's hard to do in high school football. So depending on where our talent level is, we can get a lot of different formations to have success. And I feel really good about what we're going to do this year with these kids. Defensively, this is our defense. This is the thing, as I came to Hutto and I said we're going to do two things. I promise you this. We're going to be able to run the football, which we've had. We've had 2,000-yard rushers back-to-back. We'll be able to run the football and throw the ball when needed. But the one thing I said we're going to do, is play great defense. For 2 years in a row, we've led the district in defense. The 5 all-state football players that you saw up there were defensive football players. We have changed the mentality of playing football in Hutto. And so our scheme, which is a 3-4 defense, allows us to get in a lot of different formations defensively. We line up in a 2-shell and we're able to blitz and a lot of different things. This year, I think our strength defensively is our defensive line. We have Tanner Frith that is coming back. He was, as a sophomore, he's a senior, but as a sophomore, he was newcomer of the year. And he last year was all-district. Taylor is committed to Baylor. He's done a great job, and he's going to lead that defense. Right next to him is Rolando Reeves, who also last year was newcomer of the year. So we have 2 kids on our defensive line that are newcomer of the year. Hayden Doggett is going to be new for us. He's going to kind of take over that role that Shane did. Hayden's going to play some tight end and play some defense for us and help us anchor that line right there. And then an outside linebacker, we're unsure, and an inside linebacker, well, I say unsure, we're unproven. We lost 4 great kids. We lost 4 linebackers, and 3 of those linebackers were first-team all-district. So when we put the hat on tomorrow morning, we're going to find out a lot about our team. But I really like the kids that we have up there. We have Brooks Bach, who has really had probably the best offseason of everybody. He's put on about 25 pounds. He's going to play outside linebacker for us. Last year he didn't play defense. He's just really one of those kids that showed up in the offseason and really caught our eye. So Brooks is going to do a lot of things for us. And then our other outside linebacker, the Blood, we're going to rotate kids in until we find one that really sticks out to us. Right now Tyler Land's that guy. And then inside we got Ryan and Luke. Ryan Robinson and Luke Evans are two kids that did a good job for us last year as special teams players and as backups. And this year we're asking them to lead our defense. On the back end, we have James Felderhoff. James Felderhoff has been just like Jay and Tanner, a 3-year starter. James Felderhoff is #1 in his class academically. James Felderhoff flies a plane. Okay? So that tells you what type of intelligence he has. And he, along with the sophomore Brandon Douglas, do a great job of getting everybody lined up. And so I'm excited about that. A.J. Lopez plays wide receiver, as I already told you. And then Tyler Matlock is another kid that is a sophomore coming in. So we've got great candidates. But the one thing I talked to kids about, I said, here's where we are. All right? You got to get out there and you got to prove. You got to produce. It's about production in my business. It's about production in your business. And so we have done the things in our program that allow these kids to be in that opportunity. That's what I told them. I don't owe you anything except one thing. I owe you an opportunity to be the best you can be. Now it's about production. And so they're going to go out there tomorrow, and I know what's going to happen. They're going to get it done, and I'm real excited about that. Yeah, there we go. All right, so I love moving with our safeties. And then I love this quote right here as we wind down to the end right there. That's the one thing I love. We hear a lot of negative things in our society that's usually talked about on the 5 o'clock news and on the front page of the newspaper. The one thing I love about athletics is this. There's something positive going on. To be able to open the paper on Saturday morning or on Wednesday and see what's going on in Hutto. The one thing I can't tell you enough about is how much I love being here. I can't thank you enough for all that you do. And I missed 2 guys a while ago, Tom Minnick and David Minnick. Those guys run the radio show for me and record our games. I can't thank them enough. And there's many of you other in this room. It's why I came here, to be in the community, to come to one high school town, to be able to mold kids into young men so that we will have success along the way, which we do in athletics, but also to be able to go on when the game of football is over with and get married one day and be a dad one day and provide for your family one day. And so I'm excited about year 3. Year 1 and 2 have been great. Year 3 is going to be excellent. And Saturday morning, before all the things going downtown, we have what we call our Popsicle Bowl. I want to invite everybody out to Hippos Stadium. The freshmen will scrimmage at 9, the JV at 10, and the varsity at 11. An opportunity for you to come buy a t-shirt and kind of get ready for that downtown pep rally that afternoon. But this will be your first opportunity to see our kids and support our kids. And then the Saturday after that, please come out again as those Ducks from Taylor come over and we get to scrimmage them. Our second scrimmage will be against Pflugerville. And then week 1, we travel to Nelson Field and we take on the number 23 team in the state of Texas, LBJ. And that's the one thing we talk about. You know, we've set some traditions along the way. We have. But there's a couple things as we've built this thing that have just happened. And so I'm excited about week 1 because 1, in 2 years we have not lost a non-district football game. In 2 years we have not lost a road game. And that's crucial because week 1 we got the number 23 team in the state. Week 2 we go down to Waco and play the number 5 team in 3A. And so no matter who it is, the program itself and the kids buying into that program will allow us to hopefully continue the things and the standards that we've set. So please come out and support us If there's anything I can ever do for you, let me know, and I'll see you Saturday morning.